coming in. They're off. Heading down the back straight to the first flight. Prominent is Kilbree Warrior with wide receiver, being followed by Shadow Rider as they take the first flight. All safely over. Kilbree Warrior, wide receiver, closely followed by Shadow Rider. Ashdale Bob not far behind them, being followed by Davies Dilemma. And then that one, stable companion Cellar Bridge, as they go out over flight number 2. An awkward jump by Boyne. At the back of the field is wide receiver. And Kilbree Warrior make the bend, couple of lengths in front of Ashdale Bob and Shadow Rider. Then comes Davies Dilemma with Folcano, and on the inside Cellar Bridge, being followed by Boyne and Henry Africa. They're tracked by Hill of Kesh, and a bit of a break to Bar de Verne at the back of the field. Turning in for the first of 3 flights in the opening 2.5 mile EBF maiden. Wide receiver disputes the lead with Kilbree Warrior being followed by Ashdale Bob and Shadow Rider. Davies Dilemma is next, being followed round the bend by Folcano, and on the inside is Cellar Bridge as they reach the third flight. In the air together, Kilbree Warrior and wide receiver being tracked downhill by Ashdale Bob. Then comes Shadow Rider and Davies Dilemma, Cellar Bridge next, being followed by Folcano, and then Boyne, Henry Africa. Break then to Hill of Kesh, and last of all is Bar de Verne. Middle flight in the straight coming up, and it's wide receiver just put in a shorty. Folcano blundered in mid-division as they race to the flight nearest the stands, the last one next time. And it is wide receiver Kilbree Warrior continuing to lock horns up front, followed by Ashdale Bob and Shadow Rider, 2 lengths to Davies Dilemma and Cellar Bridge. Folcano is next in the red cab. Then Boyne and Henry Africa, 4 lengths back to the final couple. Hill of Kesh and Bar de Verne, the back marker of the 11. A small-sized maiden hurdle field is unusual for Navan. Just the 11 in the Irish EBF maiden. Kilbree Warrior, Barry Brown, just moving on, 3 parts of a length in front of wide receiver, the favourite under Jack Kennedy. Then Ashdale Bob and Paddy Kennedy, followed by Shadow Rider and Mark Walsh, a horse a long time absent, and then comes Folcano and Davies Dilemma, Cellar Bridge, Boyne, and then Henry Africa, Bar de Verne, and at the rear of the field, Hill of Kesh. Heading down the back straight, they've come inside halfway, and the leader is Kilbree Warrior, shifting on just over a length in front of wide receiver, and third is Ashdale Bob. And then comes Shadow Rider, followed by Folcano, and then Davies Dilemma, Cellar Bridge, Boyne, and Henry Africa as they return to their point of departure. A mile left to go. 5 flights to jump. Kilbree Warrior and wide receiver continuing to be the first pair, tracked by Ashdale Bob and Shadow Rider, 2 lengths to Davies Dilemma, and then comes Folcano, who's followed by Cellar Bridge, Boyne, Henry Africa. Bar de Verne swaps a place with Hill of Kesh over the middle flight in the back straight. 7 furlongs to go and 4 flights to jump. Kilbree Warrior and wide receiver, followed by Ashdale Bob. White cap of Shadow Rider on the inside, then Folcano, who's followed out over the last flight in the back straight, where wide receiver was untidy. Davies Dilemma is just in behind the leading group, and then Cellar Bridge and Henry Africa. Making the bend, 3/4 of a mile left to go. Good run to the third last flight. Kilbree Warrior and wide receiver, no changes up front, followed by Ashdale Bob, Shadow Rider. Davies Dilemma is getting a tad closer, and then Folcano, a couple of lengths to the next one, Cellar Bridge. Half a mile from the finish as they turn in for the final 3, and it's Kilbree Warrior a length in front of wide receiver, and they're followed by Ashdale Bob, who's hot on their heels on the outside, then Shadow Rider, Davies Dilemma, Folcano and Cellar Bridge gone clear. Coming to the third last flight, the top of the track, and it's Kilbree Warrior and wide receiver, who again was far from fluent. Ashdale Bob looms up on the outside, being followed by Shadow Rider, and then comes Davies Dilemma, Cellar Bridge and Folcano. They're coming down to the second last, and it's wide receiver, driven on the far side of Ashdale Bob, who's challenging a couple of lengths back to Shadow Rider. Wakening is Kilbree Warrior and then Folcano, followed by Davies Dilemma. They're racing for the final flight, and it's wide receiver on the far side, moving on a length in front of Ashdale Bob. This is the final flight. Wide receiver Ashdale Bob hasn't gone away on the near side. 150 yards to go, and it's Ashdale Bob and Paddy Kennedy on the near side of Jack on wide receiver, and it's Ashdale Bob as they go towards the line. Ashdale Bob will see off wide receiver Shadow Rider in third, and fourth Volcano.
Good performance in our opening race of the day from Ashdale Bob, who's left behind a disappointing effort on his most recent start. That was all the way back in January when he was a beaten favourite at Fairy House.